Can you just focus, please? Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to our second episode of Focus, Please. And today our guest is Hannah with Kadilak Realty Group. Woo!
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Hannah.
Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited. Hannah is someone that I wanted on this podcast for a few reasons, but one was because Hannah was one of my brides.
I was.
You were one of my brides.
Multiple times.
Yes, actually. Ooh, that's something fun to talk about because let's get into that because I don't even know. I do know obviously a little of the backstory, but you have one of my favorite stories because of how you did it, which I almost copied you, but I didn't want to steal. But
you shut up. Shut up.
He still wants to go to Vegas, so it's still
it's on the table.
Vegas pirate ship, yeah. But let's jump into it a little bit before we get into the nitty gritty of the real estate. But tell everyone about this cool little adventure you had of your wedding journey.
Okay. Well, thinking about it, me and my now husband, Richard, have been together since we were 19 and 20. And when he proposed just a few months beforehand, I'd gotten let go from the job I had been working at for the first 4 years after graduating. And I had just turned 26, and we all know what happens. You roll off your parents' insurance when you're 26. So
the worst of times.
I hate to say that it was a
insurance scam. No, I'm just kidding.
It was very much so a practical decision because we knew we wanted to do a big wedding with everyone, but I needed health insurance and I was already engaged. So I said, what do you think about doing a civil ceremony sometime in December? And we can have our little moment, be legally married, and then surprise everyone at the big one. And so we did exactly that. We went to Woburn City Hall or Town Hall, whatever it is.
Yeah.
One of them. Wherever you go and get married by a justice of the peace.
Yes. In Woburn somewhere.
Yes, somewhere.
they're one of the prettier ones. Unfortunately, Boston City Hall is voted the ugliest building in Boston.
Which is so funny.
It looks like a prison. So I'm very glad that you went with Woburn. Gorgeous in there.
Yeah. And it really, it worked out. That was obviously my first time meeting you, and you brought cannolis as a prop.
I want cannolis now. Okay, sorry, I got really.
It was amazing. It got us out of our shell at the end. Some of my favorite pictures from that day are with those darn cannolis.
I gotta post those again. Ooh, those were so fun.
They were good. It was all your idea. Gave us something to do, and I have to say that day for a bride, at least for this bride. Yeah. That day compared to the big one I was just so much more in the moment. I was out of my head, and I really, felt that quote, like, be where your feet are. Like I was so there. I was just exactly in that moment, relaxed. We went and got, lunch at a steakhouse, did pickleback shots. It was fun. And then obviously the big one, almost 10 months later in September was awesome, but I have a little special place in my heart for the civil ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah. And now seeing the chaos, I mean, I see behind the scenes all the time now planning my
better
own
than me.
Day. I see it in all different shapes and sizes, but there is magic in those little quiet moments.
Agree.
And I don't think they get enough light. And I how did you feel that what anniversary date?
Oh, so it's funny you ask because people do always ask.
Yeah. I'm like, wait.
It's funny. Yes, people always ask.
You get multiple.
And I'll tell you, the one that matters to me, kind of going along with what I just said, is that civil ceremony one. That's the one we got married.
Well, that's the one the state does.
Yeah, to me, that is the one we got married. The other one was for everyone else. And
it was like the party.
Yes. And being in a big, beautiful dress and getting to have all of the people you love under one roof, which it was amazing. Yeah. I just was more relaxed at at the civil ceremony one.
That makes sense.
I will say that's the anniversary. If we're going to like go on a trip or stay at a hotel or do something bigger, it would be December 4th. Okay. And then the September 28th, the big one, we just kind of acknowledge it and maybe get dinner.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it's just, the other one is the one that I think, so I'd say December 4th, you know, is when.
Oh man.
I know, 3 years this year. Isn't that freaking wild?
Whoa.
We first met December 4th, 2023.
Whoa. I have no concept of time anymore.
I know. Well, COVID fucked us all up, I think.
Yeah, the before times.
Before times and the after. To think we're in 2026 and COVID was, it'll be 6 years ago, is coming soon. It's kind of mind-boggling.
That is crazy.
Like, doesn't it feel like you can really remember exactly how it all felt? And like it was yesterday.
Oh my God. Well, that whole time for me was a blur because that's when I was going through my divorce.
That's right.
that whole time.
Add insult to damn injury.
It was crazy. But yeah, so that was BC before COVID.
Before COVID. Before times.
Before times. Yeah, that was crazy.
Honestly, though. There was before COVID and there was after.
There truly was.
There really
BC.
Was.
Yeah. It all like goes back in times.
And now even when we like, for Richard, when he was, he had to take someone to the hospital and like monitor, you know, I don't know what word they use for that, but it was someone that had been arrested, but they needed to go to the hospital. So he was monitoring, you know, the person.
Yeah.
And, the flu season was so bad this year. They were making everyone mask up.
Yeah.
And I just think even for bad flu seasons, before COVID, I don't remember that. But of course, I only know what I know.
I'm trying to remember. So I don't know if you knew this. So I was in LNA for a little bit. So in New Hampshire, it's LNA. Almost everywhere else, it's CNA, like certified nursing assistant.
Okay.
So I used to work.
Like licensed is the L.
Yeah. It's like just the different verbiage in New Hampshire, but pretty much everywhere else, it's like either CNA. Like it is
that I was going to say, I am familiar with that.
Yeah. So I was essentially a CNA in New Hampshire. We were I worked at a hospital in Manchester. Manchester is the biggest, essentially, city.
Manch Vegas.
Manch
Vegas. That's what it is. Manch Vegas.
And so our hospital was the one contracted with the prison. Anytime we got any prisoners that would come, there would always be like a parole officer, a correctional officer, or a police officer that had to be there at all times.
Yeah. Because it would be
it's like a safety risk. Yeah.
Which it makes sense. A safety risk, to you guys.
I will say they were some of the best patients. They were so appreciative and kind.
I believe that.
Yeah, they were just so happy that like almost they would be able to push a button and have someone give them beck and call service. That is the complete opposite that you get in prison.
I was about to say.
So they are so appreciative, like a warm bed, a TV, and
I bet it's honestly almost like
it's like a little
vacation.
Well, I mean, you're Rich would probably know better, but I mean, I've heard of stories where people, they will hurt themselves in prison so they can get a little vacation.
Honestly, it makes sense.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to ask you, being a bride of mine, I love that I get the little perspective to be able to ask you after.
You were there for all of it.
Yeah, and I don't always get to have such an in-depth talk with my brides after. So what was one thing that you realized that didn't really matter after all? What was one thing you were so worried about? You were like, it didn't matter.
It may sound silly, but one of the things that I really seemed to care about when I was going through the process was the dip at the end of the aisle. Oh. And I know it seems like not a big deal, but like it's such a photo op, right?
Let's get into it.
And me and Richard, I made him practice it with me. We were practicing it. And because we were also doing dance lessons too for the first dance. Yep. We did 3 dance lessons. It was awesome. I have to say, if anyone's thinking about it, get the dance lessons.
Where we might be doing it now.
You really should. It was some of my favorite times of the wedding planning.
I think it's a very fun bonding, like a little date night experience.
You're going to do it ever again, most likely. 100%. Dance classes with Yo Man. So it really was. It was fun. It was worth it. And we practiced that dip. And even after all that practice, the day came. and his foot slipped on the grass and I could tell we were going down. And my face in the picture, it's really not noticeable, I'm sure, to anyone else other than to me, but I'm scrunched because I'm starting to go like this because I'm worried I'm going to fall to the ground. And the picture is still cute. And I still like the picture.
Yeah.
And that's it. It was just stupid to care so much about what that was going to look like. And I will admit, for me, it was totally like a comparison thing. I saw other people and I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. Look how perfect that went.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually, nothing is perfect and it doesn't have to be perfect. And all those brides too, that had that perfect picture that I was talking about, they probably had something happen in their day that.
Yeah. Or that photo could have even been restaged after. There's so many factors, whether it's the dress, and there are very few people that I think can organically, candidly, in a moment, take a beautiful dip photo without getting some sort of,
maybe a little double chin,
or your arm is weird, or you're bent weird in the way that he grabs your back, and all of a sudden,
and you're in a big dress. Harder to find the grip for the dude.
In the dip, honestly, down the aisle, I feel like didn't become really big until the past few years.
Yes.
And now it's phasing out.
Oh, already? Yeah. See, that makes sense to me. I honestly, part of me wishes we just did something like this.
Yeah.
And like kissed each other and kept going, know? One thing I do think about, and I've even talked with you about this, we're at some point we'll do it again and I'll put on that dress. But if you're team no first look, doing like an hour of like bridals or something in, I don't know how soon or close it needs to be to a wedding. It probably really doesn't matter, but for all those portraits, if you're no first look, could be a good way to get those done and out of the way. I
remember if we talked about that before.
We did, but we just decided not to.
I think it was just timing.
It was timing, the way that life happened, but I have that dress in one day. We'll go in maybe 5-year wedding anniversary.
Ooh.
It could be a fun way to celebrate and get more pictures.
Never a wrong time.
And I'm sure you've seen it all of people, bridals, no bridals, first look, no first look, first touch, no first touch. Like there's so many options now.
Yeah. I was just talking to a bride about this on a
You're tired, I'm sure, all the options.
Well, and I'm even in the decision paralysis as
currently.
Now we pretty much have everything solidified, but being a 2026 bride myself, when we were in some of the decision-making processes, one being on this side, I know like you and I have talked about this, it's almost harder as a vendor, I think, getting married because I see so many different trends.
So many options.
I have a lot of different things at my access that I could use or people to reach out to, or I know people or these cool different things. And so we had a little bit of decision paralysis.
Decision paralysis is a perfect way, I think, to describe it. And that's, I really commend the people that go into it and they say, this is what I want. My Pinterest board looks like this. This is what I want. And this is what I'm going to get. But to your point, I remember going through the process and wanting to change things or do something differently than I originally thought. And it was all because I was consuming so much. And you are not only able to consume online, but in real life. And that's almost even worse because I'm definitely more influenced by things in real life.
Really?
I would argue that I'm more,
this is really interesting. So where, for example?
I think a good example is, let's say I see a girl on TikTok and she's advertising one of those spray sunscreens or whatever. I am less likely to buy it in that moment than I am if I see a girl on the beach using that spray sunscreen in front of me. I'm going to be, for some reason in my head, I don't know if it's because I'm thinking nothing that I'm seeing nowadays is real. You don't know if they like the product or not, but in person, I know they must like it.
That's a good point.
Or I can assume. So
you're so I touched upon this on episode 1, but I hope no one listened to it because it was trash. And it was actually but we talked about this. Don't talk down to yourself. one of the things that I talked about is how with AI and a lot of this technology coming into the world, a lot of real life moments, real life things are actually going to have higher value.
Yes.
So for you, because I think a lot of us and what we see for sales and marketing, social media right now is the king for marketing. Everyone wants to put videos online and that's how you market and all that fun. But so you're already in that like camp of I want real stuff.
Yes. And I'm trying to figure out exactly. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I will admit it. I totally, you know, and I still definitely occasionally will be like, ChatGPT, I need help reformulating this.
Love her.
Does this make more, like, I do. But I used to, like at the start of 2025, because I thought it was what everyone was doing, I would use ChatGPT to write, you know, my full caption, exactly what went on the screen. And I now don't do that. I do whatever I think makes sense. The captions from me. And I just feel like that it reads better. It reads more human.
It's more organic. I could start to tell, because I was doing it too.
Yeah.
And then I could start to tell, and it became a running joke where I would be on the couch and whatever, like my fiance, and we're just chilling at the end of the night. And I would start giggling and I was like, this is a ChatGPT written caption. You can tell.
You can tell.
You can tell.
And if I feel that I can tell it about my own content, then I feel that everyone else has got to see right through it. Yeah. But there's also, I guess, for me, on the flip side of that, part of the reason why I was using ChatGPT is I wanted to make sure that all of the information that was getting put out there was 100% accurate. Yeah. Do I still care about that? Yes. But are we all a little infallible, and will every reel be great and perfect? Yeah. Probably not. But
yeah, this is a question that I didn't prepare you for.
Oh, okay. Oh, goodness.
Don't hate me.
I'm scared.
Don't hate me, because this might happen. But now I'm curious. So obviously, ChatGPT, AI, big conversation in my industry, in the photo world. I don't know anything. I assume it must be. Is it affecting the real estate industry? I have no idea.
Well, at least from a perspective of content, like, it feels like ChatGPT and AI trends, like, you know, when people will get themselves, like, you know, a picture of themselves remade to look like they're on a beach or something. You see a lot of that.
Yeah, we see that.
I would rather just go and use an old picture I have from the beach and then use that.
Yeah.
And then I also, I mean, you definitely see it in captions, in data, right? I would say. Hopefully most people are going to their like MLS.
Yeah, well, even maybe photos and stuff. Maybe?
You know, definitely. I mean, I can say from my most recent listing, the seller put in mini splits, brand new ductless mini splits.
Okay.
And that was a change from the radiators that were in the home before, old radiator heat, you know, like back in the day.
Like what I have right now.
Yeah, right. So then you get it.
Like my clinking radiator.
Yes.
I love her. Yeah.
I think it's kind of comforting. It's one of you know, ignore that. I'm not going to go down that. It's one of the better heat sources.
Really?
As far as bills and expense.
That's actually good to know.
It's like, yeah.
From an aesthetic purpose, as someone
and
who
now
lives
we're
in
going to need to
Boston
confirm
right
that
now,
before that gets fucking.
We'll put a little asterisk and a type of like, just kidding, Hannah was lying.
Hannah lied.
Or Hannah told the truth.
Yeah. I like that. So you see it, I would say you see it mostly in content, because AI cannot write an offer for someone. AI cannot call up the listing agent and negotiate.
Okay,
you know,
that's good. I would hope. Yeah.
Yep, can't be doing that. Well, and if they can, then that's really freaky. And I don't even know what that would lead to. But everything that requires a realtor.
Okay.
In a grander sense, like content, not really required,
so probably
right?
Only anything like marketing.
Yeah, I would say, marketing, advertising. I wouldn't say it's impacting, you know, contracts, or like I said, going and seeing. You know, you still need to be outgoing and seeing and previewing properties. You still need to be like growing your understanding. You still need to be making calls. You still need to be sending out your letters or whatever it is that you do for your marketing or lead generation. So I would say, to your point, probably mostly content.
Oh, wow. Wow. I was just
but there's so
wondering.
many, there's so many realtors. I think that they say that there's, 1.7 realtors in the United States and,
1.7 million?
Yes.
Holy moly.
But let's say maybe 40% of these people actively work
how many
full time.
Okay.
And I actually don't know the number. It would be interesting to dive into it. I don't know where that data would be, where I can find that.
And I'm sure you have like different areas where New England is such a condensed area. There's probably a high number in
we do see a lot of people, and in New England, you see a lot of people that do Mass and New Hampshire, like they hold licenses in both states, like myself.
Have to.
It makes a lot of sense. And then you'll see New Hampshire, Maine. You'll see, I think you'll also see some Massachusetts and Connecticut, because
is Rhode Island its own beast?
You know what? I feel truly like I know nothing about Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's so small.
Or it's real estate.
I know, it's so small.
It's just terrible. And so densely populated, again, to your point.
Well, and there's some of those McMansions over there. So I just didn't know. Hannah and I have decided off camera we were doing a mansion tour.
Yeah, the Newport Mansion.
If
people have been, tell me, is it worth it?
I was going to say, I have a friend who highly recommended.
Okay.
And anything with wine is better.
Anything with wine is better.
So we'll have fun. Another thing that I want to ask you, because we're going to get a little bit more into your real estate in a moment.
Okay, I'm scared.
But a little bit more on the wedding real quick.
Yeah.
Is what did you love that you were glad that you did? And this is also purposely me being selfish, because help me.
I know what it is. I don't know if it's something you're considering, but I do know what it is.
Oh, okay.
It is our last minute first touch. I was so out of myself that like all I needed in that moment.
Yes.
Because I remember, I'm going to be honest, like no offense to any of the people that were like directly around me in that moment, my mom, my sister, my bridesmaids. I just remember in that moment thinking, why am I not with Richard? It was, and I was so overwhelmed at that point. It had been a long morning, right? You're gone and apart
since like hours. Yeah. And you're up since like 6 a.m. getting hair and makeup and tweezed. So it was time.
And I remember thinking, I really, what I remember feeling was a lot of anxiety. And I was like, well, how do I release some of this? And then I was like,
and who's normally your person?
Exactly. So I looked at the wedding attendant, I think is her label. And I said, is this possible to do last minute? I know I'm really messing you guys up. And she was like, no, you said it at the exact right time. No, we need to do it right now.
Yeah,
and I went,
work.
Okay.
Yeah. And we all jumped into action.
And you did. You all jumped. Everyone jumped into action. And I will tell you, I was able to cry a little bit. And like, I felt truly a little bit of a release. And I was much happier walking down the aisle 7 minutes later.
Yes. I think that's a great suggestion.
I guess listening to your body, like in that moment, I felt anxious. I was all worked up.
Yeah.
And that relaxed me and made the difference.
Yeah. And that's something that I've seen a few times.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great option for people who
maybe are a little.
Yeah. We struggled with, are we going to do the first look or not? It's something that I ended up.
What did you decide?
And it's funny because I shouldn't say it's funny. I tell people up and down. I've been on social media. I've been on threads. I've screened it from the rooftops. I wanted to start protests over it. I always tell my couples on the phone. I always say, do not let photos dictate whether you do a first look or not. That being said,
you're letting it dictate.
As a photographer who's getting married.
But that's where like bridals or something like that could come in, like portraits.
We also are not having obviously our wedding is conventional, but it's not in other senses. So the way that we structured certain things in our social media package and other things, I was willing to tweak some certain things.
Yeah.
I will say I am also if you listen to the last podcast episode, which was mostly turned into a medication talk.
So propranolol, beta blocker. Yeah.
We love meds here. We love a med. We love a med. So I'm going to be an anxious bitch. So that was another thing too, I was like, am I going to be able to handle, not seeing
I took my beta blocker and an Ativan.
I was worried I was going to literally throw up on myself.
I'm admitting it, everyone.
Perfect. So another option. But that being said, I think if people are stuck on the decision, they're not sure, I think the first touch is such a great,
Yes.
happy medium of you don't want to see the person. You still want that first look down the aisle surprise, which I will say
It's always so, I don't know, I love it.
You have some of my favorite. Our good old boy Ricardo
He was a little sappy fella.
We love a man that sheds a tear or two, and he did not disappoint.
No.
And I love that we got your side of it too coming down. So I'm really glad that we had that down the aisle moment. But that being said, having that first touch is such a great way if you are having some anxiety, because who's your person?
Who's your person? Like, you're getting married to that.
Right. Who's the person that when you have a bad day and you come home to, you want to cry and call. So it makes total sense to be like, hey, I need to breathe.
Yes. I guess really sitting here and talking about this, it just makes me realize that there are ways to
100%.
Accomplish everything that you want.
Yes, 100%.
And it all works out.
Yeah.
And it all works out.
I was like, oh my God, maybe just because I just had a call. So all this stuff is so fresh on my brain, but that brings
with
me to
your
another
photographer.
Well, so not my photographer. I call them lead calls, but other photographers will call them discovery calls. But so it's like that. They're not your
lead generation, like for realtors.
Yes. Yeah. And so you and I had that call, and that's when we talked for 2 hours.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can you, and
that was our first sign that we were going to get along. Finding a photographer that you get along with is important. And Hannah and I knew this with my lead generation call with you turned into like a 2-hour phone call.
And it was so nice. We talked about the most random things.
I know. We got
Kevin Cooney randomly, because we were talking about TikTokers and influencers in the Boston area.
I was like, I know him.
And we were talking, and that came up, and they had like just gotten married, right? Or something like that. Or they were like getting married.
So at that point, oh gosh, and I sound like, I mean, I know them, obviously, like not trying to sound like a stalker. I think they were just still engaged.
Oh, okay, okay.
They got married that winter.
That's what I thought. And their wedding looked spectacular. So
yes, they did the very nice,
It was at the
Copley.
Richard had one of his proms there, is all I know.
I want to say it was the Copley, not the Omni partner.
I think you're right. I think it was the Copley.
Ashley or Kevin, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're not, but hop in the comments. I totally forget.
It was beautiful.
Yes. So with the lead gen calls, so talking for 2 hours, that was definitely an indication.
Yeah, I would say so.
That you and I were going to be two peas in a pod. I do think those are super important because
agree.
Personality, that probably just picked up on Mike. Oops. Something that I've even verbally said, I'm like, as I squeeze the can, something that I've verbally said I've said this to people on calls, and even the calls that I just had recently with 2 recent like lead calls, is I'm never offended if I'm not your person. If I think the calls are necessary. There are some people, I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what industry you're in.
Necessary.
Calls are necessary, especially in this world, this cold world of AI and getting back to people and connection.
Yes. People talking to people.
Yes. And I think personality is so heavily integrated into businesses now, and who you are, and you want to know who you're doing business with. Those calls are such a good way to put a personality to it.
Oh, completely. And I really do think for both of us, as different as the industries we're in are, I think both of us, personality and how they mesh really impacts their experience.
Yes.
For you're impacting one of the most important days of their life. For me, are they going to
start sweating?
Are they going to listen to me? Do they enjoy talking to me? I'm about to walk them. I'm about to maybe go out. This one couple we've gone out 17 weekends, not all in a row, but we've gone 17 weekends
through their most expensive purchase.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. Some people might wedding. I don't know. Some people
New England weddings.
So I don't know.
You should have seen the but to your point, expensive. I just saw at one of the ones at T.
Oh, for the flowers. Where's the venue? Where is it being held? Okay. Can he start wearing like a little GoPro as he's doing his installations so I can see what it's like at these venues as he's setting up hundreds and thousands worth of dollars of flowers.
What a great marketing idea for them.
It would be so fun. Like when you see the dogs, they'll put the GoPro on the dog collar and then you like see what the dog sees. The only reason I want to see what the florist sees. Okay.
No, I know. I only giggle just because I know like audio would not be allowed.
Oh, okay. That's a very valid point because they're going to be talking about a lot of intense.
Well, just there's a lot of swearing going on. But like, so I've seen some of them. So I get a lot of the behind the scene pictures. So some of the White House stuff.
That's right. I forgot because they're contracted to do White House flowers.
So I've seen some installations there. So it was,
what an interesting time to be going to the White House.
They haven't gone.
Oh, they haven't in this administration?
Interesting.
Don't quote me on that. I won't.
Don't quote me on that 100%.
Next time I see Yo Mans, I'll ask.
We have to grill them. I don't think, not at least in the past year. So yeah, I guess in this administration, yeah.
Maybe that's just different, right? The new administration picked a different.
It could be contracted. It could be a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. But some of the, I know that there was one that they did under the Biden administration, and it was like outside in the summer, so they had the tent. The florals on just the ceiling alone.
Were like $250,000 or something.
But I can't even taxpayer dollar. It was just insane to me. Like, I'm looking at your sale, like I'm looking at it. I'm like,
I'm trying to imagine. Like, no, it's great. I can't imagine fully filling one of those giant tents with flowers.
And I think that's
I know sizes vary, but like they're still large.
And so I hope that puts a little bit of perspective, because when people see these things on Pinterest, I don't know if they realize that those things cost.
People will want like
hundreds of thousands of dollars of florals.
People will want the bushels of bright blue hydrangeas in the middle of July, which I get it. Fine. In season, it's a more expensive flower was my understanding. Yeah. And if you're going to have bushels of them everywhere and lining all that adds up.
Oh, it adds up quickly. I mean, and I'll be honest, he works in the floral industry, so I know.
And in a bougie place.
Yeah, and I know a little bit of it, but I still had sticker shock. Planning
a wedding is sticker
florals
shock.
Are something that are completely underestimated in the industry. I think people don't realize from a historical point. One, there was history in it. It was supposed to make us smell good because we didn't shower and we were gross. But that's what they were originally for. You would hold them close to you so
that you wouldn't be a stinky poo-poo pants.
Yeah, because we didn't shower in medieval times like that.
Yeah, you're right. We took a bucket and it was. I don't know what we did in medieval times.
7 buckets old from your father's wash. Yeah, they would shower. They would bathe from the most important in the family to the least. So if you were like the runt of the family, you were in the cold, dirty bathwater that 4 of your other family members bathed in before you. It was a great time to be alive.
That's absolutely
be so happy.
Horrifying.
Yeah. So we were all stinky bitches and we smelled like poop and had syphilis and everything else gross with us back then because it was.
And no one ever drank water. We drank liquor because water wasn't safe to drink half the time. So you drank liquor.
When you watch Bridgerton, realize they all are stinky bitches.
Are they though? Because they're the wealthiest of the wealthy?
They still stank.
Okay.
Think about all those layers,
gas,
and girdles, and then you're telling me that they're going to go down on them, and you just had 17 layers and girdles in the 1800s? Like, no way.
Think about just thinking about like going skiing.
The amount of fromunder cheese from the men that would be going on. Like, I want a realistic show, please. Netflix, get on this. But anyways.
The fromunder cheese.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
The cheese from under. Down under.
Oh my God. No, okay. Let's hope that they at least smelled a little bit better than the average person in that big ass houses with all their staff.
But that's originally what the florals were for in the wedding industry.
And that wasn't even medieval times. So.
Right. And so going back to when you see these Pinterest boards and these photos with florals that are just floor to ceiling, these are hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of florals. So florals are sometimes a very unexpected expense for people that maybe they get blindsided with. They don't budget properly. They're surprised with the budget.
You're seeing people DIY them more and more now, where they're going to go to Costco. They're going to get all of these, bushels and bushels and bushels, and they're figuring out with
we're
foam
doing a mix of fake and real. I'm going to have some fake in mine.
I fully support that because, to be quite honest, if I had done more research before, I probably would have said, I can do some of these things myself.
Yeah.
And I really commend all those DIY brides that do the large majority of it. I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So one last thing for wedding before we get into a little bit fun on the real estate was, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to brides? As someone who went through it, as someone who's done it. Oh, 2. All right, go. Let's go.
Okay. I got 2. 1, every like opportunity, every appointment, whether you're tasting cake or I don't know, you're maybe, you know, at a more traditional venue, you're sitting down and you're doing your menu tasting or something like that. Every moment or appointment or, you know, even my hair trial, me and Richard turned all of those into dates, basically. So we just tried to really make sure that that day was as open as it could be. We'd go, I remember after our food tasting, we weren't far from the beach. So we went and we walked along the beach.
Thing.
Yeah. It's just like little things like that. It's a time that moves so quickly and that you hopefully never get back. Right. So
Fair.
it's like we try to maximize.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
I know.
Fair.
But
I know. I just think it's funny.
So, you know, that's the goal.
Yes.
So we tried to make it a little thing, every moment into a larger moment.
Great advice.
Yes. Nice. We maximized our time. And then the second thing, I really recommend, because I didn't even do this, but I heard other people do it. And after my experience, I wish that I had, after hearing about it, make a new Gmail account that has, it's just for the wedding and it's for just you and your partner and every vendor email, vendor inquiry, everything goes through that email.
Smart. I've seen this a lot lately. A lot of my inquiries
I
are
wish
coming
that I
through.
had done it. Oh my God.
Are you still getting spammed?
I still get spammed from random various wedding things. I also still get I get constant emails from the Knot, Zola, all of that for just like going through and like Zola was awesome. I really did enjoy its, I'm using the app. I really liked the app. It was very nice. Easy to set up your website, easy to track RSVPs. I really did like Zola.
Yeah.
But that would be one thing. I had to go into my personal email and I had to create a folder wedding and then a subfolder for photography, videography, not food,
like catering,
cake, the desserts, flowers, and I just had to go through.
You're being more organized than most, I would say, even. But
really?
Have to be.
But I get so much spam messaging in my personal email from signing up for the stupid 10% off, right? When I want to buy something, and if I had not done that, I would have missed so many emails. Transportation, that was a big one. I needed to make sure that I was responding to them or they had access to me, and I just really wish that it had been in one place that Richard also could have accessed.
That's a great point.
Because I was the one manning it all.
Yeah. There's usually one person. That's fair. Yeah.
But it would have been nice if it would all be in one place.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And that actually just inspired me. One little advice if I could give, and I saw this once at a wedding. It was genius, and I'm stealing it and doing it ours. And almost to that point is, I know it's not new to have maybe like a day of binder. We've all probably seen that, right? My advice, in your binder, print out your contracts with all your vendors and have them in there.
Smart.
I saw it save someone's butt in the wedding in a situation with a vendor.
Was the vendor trying to like leave early or some sort of
essentially along those lines,
something like that? Okay.
In the middle of a situation, there was a question. And the poor bride, and so she's trying to get stuff done, and the family members are trying to deal with it. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
To have the contract there's no questions legally.
It's there,
and if you don't, hopefully you don't need it, but if not, it's just in the binder. There's no questions. If there is a pricing discrepancy, everything is in the binder in the back. Well, here's the contract. Here's it's just.
That's really smart. And I will say, in that day of binder too, you could put in the same sleeve as the contract, your tip for those people.
Smart.
Because you want to have all those tips prepped. My mom really helped me with that. She helped me prep all of them, get them in an envelope, label them. So that day of.
Yep.
And she's actually the one that helped pass those out.
A designated
have a designated envelope tipper, which it sounds so stupid, but you're in the middle of one of the most fun days of your life. You don't want to remember in that moment, I have to run to that room and grab the tip for the photographer. Yeah. Feels, we were dancing.
I know.
My mom, it's like we were dancing.
We were on the dance floor. I didn't have time. I know, like sometimes and like vendors will do their big goodbye, but then
and then some
just Irish goodbye.
They slink away
because you're in the middle of doing something. They don't want to bother you. They're like,
you're right. That does make a lot of sense. They don't want to interrupt, which is what. But you as the bride and groom or whatever want to make sure that they get those tips.
No, that's totally true.
Maybe doing that at the beginning of the day is wise.
I've seen it done every which way.
Okay.
I've seen
Do you have
every
a
which way.
preference as a vendor, though?
Ooh, hard question. You're not just asking me the hard
I
question.
know, I'm sorry.
What the fuck? No, it's okay.
Tables have turned.
Oh, how the tables have turned. We never expect tips are always appreciated.
Okay.
I think probably at the beginning of the day, just for the
ease of having it done.
But I do see the
desire to wait until after the work is performed almost.
Because Lord forbid if my videographer ends up being a shithead and
is blackout drunk or something.
And then leaves 3 hours early, I'm like, fuck, you left with the tip. That's my only...
Yeah. No, I agree, because to your...
I would say if you have someone to do it, or if I had to honestly pick the perfect time, I'm trying to think, it would be right around dinner.
Yeah, because at that point, you're quite well along with your day.
Everyone's kind of taking a break at that point. Yeah. Usually, whether it's you, maybe you can have a family member just go run and grab stuff. The vendors are usually maybe taking a break at that point. You've got enough through the day where you can see, did they totally fuck up? Were they an asshole? Something like that. Maybe a better time.
Agree.
Before it starts getting crazy and dancing and everyone gets really drunk and you're having the time of your life. And
dance floor flows right into after party. And at that point, you're gone.
Once the dance floor starts, chaos. That's fine. I want it to be. It should be. But it's if
that's a goal, right?
Yeah, I'm mad if it's not. It should be chaos. But yeah, I would say that's probably the golden time. If I had to suggest when would be the best time to tip a vendor, I would say that dinner time.
Okay.
That'd be mine.
I guess so.
Now's your shining moment. Okay, I want to talk with you a little bit because I am really amazed. You actually inspired me to be present more online with content. You actually were my inspiration, believe it or not. You really were.
If anything, I see yours all the time. I'm like, she is so scheduled.
Oh, well, that's only because I have no life. That's nothing else to do.
You're so scheduled. And they say I know it's not about, truly, at least from my perspective, it's not about going viral, because I don't want virality. I want real people that I can help buy or sell their house. I don't really ultimately want I don't need tens of thousands of followers to parse through that aren't, if that makes any sense.
No, that's fair.
And there are totally realtors that have gone viral, and then it also leads to true, interaction within their community, for sure. I just am saying from
if you get 50,000 followers, 50,000 people aren't buying houses from you.
Exactly. Great. Please,
right.
Share, comment. It gets pushed out to more people.
Right.
I really do, my geotag. I always have a location on my videos, because that I know definitely it should matter, at least for my content. So yeah. Long story short, I would say, and now of course where are my words?
I don't know. We don't like words. Actually, no, we love words. I say too many words.
As far as, getting content out, you want it to.
We were talking about this earlier where I almost want to leave this in.
All right.
This is our new segment, the breakdance segment.
I know.
We were talking about this earlier a little bit.
Get me back.
Well, we were talking about this off camera a little bit. Sorry, guys. About how content is so woven into pretty much every business at this point, and how you have to be present online and to show your face with your business.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So they tell you when you start in real estate, right? That's what it was. It's not. Do you need tissue?
No.
It's not about the likes. It's not about virality. It's about providing value to people that follow you. Yep. Hopefully you're providing value to the people that are consuming your content. But really, it's not. When I started in real estate, I knew that people had social media channels and brands and followings, but I really didn't think it was going to be so required. But it is, because there is no other way other than if you were to door knock every singular freaking house in a neighborhood. You're never the way to get people's eyes on you is via social media. So as much as I, hope maybe one day something goes viral, would that be cool? Yeah, that would be cool. But what I would hope the result from that was people in my area following me.
Yeah.
Like more people from my area.
Yeah.
Me getting pushed out to them. That's
and they're
truly
learning about
the
your
goal.
personality.
Yes.
And
like
who you are.
You want to post all the time because you want people in your neighborhood to see that you're active, you want to provide value, you want to help, you want to inform and teach, because it's a long, hard, arduous process, especially in an area in Massachusetts, like we are in Massachusetts, where it's just so expensive. The concept of a starter home doesn't really even exist.
My eyes going to start twitching. Oh my God.
Know. So,
be renting for the rest of my life.
No,
I know. I'll get there.
We'll dive into that. We'll dive, but
not in Boston. I'm not buying Boston.
No.
We'll have to leave the city now for sure. Yeah.
Well, and that is what happens. Depending on your budget, go a little further and further and further out. But that's also some people that, maybe live somewhere more expensive in Massachusetts or closer to the city. Let's call them the Newton, Wellesley, Weston. Those people, they're so close that, some people, it's time for a change. And that's part of why I got my New Hampshire license.
They want
because
the suburban
a lot of people,
country life.
Yeah. I was going to say, some people, some people are really ready to leave and escape and get out of being in the hustle and bustle. So, and then also some people simply, when it comes down to it, New Hampshire allows them to, it affords them more house, more, larger lots.
I have
larger houses.
I have a question on that. I'm curious because, I grew up in New Hampshire. I don't think I'll ever go back and live there, but from what I see, I'm still on some of the Facebook pages in the community and all that fun stuff. What it seems like to me, and I don't know if you have any perspective on this, is New Hampshire, from what it sounds like and from what I see of other friends of mine trying to buy all that stuff, it's like it's becoming vacation land. It's like it seems like it's where everyone's going to retire because it's the only people that can afford New Hampshire is that retiree age wealth gap.
Honestly,
are you seeing younger people?
I was about to say, from what I'm seeing and experiencing, I disagree, because the people that are looking
good, I want them to be able to buy. I just, for a while, I felt like it was only. I was only seeing older people buy because it was the only people that could afford it.
I will say, no matter what, here's the problem in the area that we live in. But we have an inventory problem. There's not enough, if you look at a place like Texas, there's still plenty of places within Texas that you could develop
that sounds crazy,
and build.
And I'm not trying to
and of course there are places out here too, but much less.
Well, I was going to say, I know this sounds bad, but this is just truly from a statistical, factual perspective. The baby boomers are going to be going soon. They can't live forever. They have to be a huge percentage of the home hoard buying right now, or then I shouldn't say hoarding, but a lot of them, they've lived in the same houses. They're not going to sell whatever. So I would hope, and it sounds bad, but fingers crossed, but when a big wave of them goes, the inventory would shoot up.
Well, and I will tell you, the street that I live on, all of these houses were built in 1972, 1973, 1974, right around there. And it's not just this street, it's the surrounding and
the whole neighborhood.
This whole neighborhood. And it's interesting. So when I first moved into the house, May 2024, I went and I door knocked and dropped off little 4th of July pinwheels to all my new neighbors, just to introduce myself and say hi, happy 4th of July. Here's a little pinwheel. My name's Hannah. We just moved in, down at 16. Nice to meet you. And people were also interested in us. So
because they want to know who's moving in.
Yeah, who's moving in. So people, it was funny. I'm interested in them, but they were also definitely interested in us.
So smart.
And it was a good way to meet people. It wasn't at that point about letting them know I'm in real estate. That wasn't the point. It was just to meet my neighbors. Exactly. And a lot of the people that live on this street are the original owners, have lived here the whole time, and will eventually,
I mean, they can't
pass
live forever,
away,
right.
and either
their children
will inherit and live in that home, or the estate says that the home is supposed to be sold and proceeds are however people have it all organized. But we will, and there are definitely neighborhoods.
Like the shoe's going to be dropping eventually.
It must, and people hope that one day there will be this like 2008 market crash. Like a housing crash, kind of like that. It's not going to happen.
Buying a house my freshman year of high school, my sophomore year of high school. Like, where was I?
It's just not. I know. It's not going to happen. It will. It will balance and ebb. We are never going to have that again. And I'm still newer into the industry. I would never claim that I understood things the way that, my broker who's been in the business for 25 years does. But she has also said the same thing. There's not going to ever be.
Don't discredit yourself on new perspectives not being a good perspective.
You're right. But knowledge is power. So and I will tell you, this is one of those industries I'm sure you do relate as much as because I passed my Massachusetts test in under an hour.
Hell yeah. I know. That's a humble brag. Flex, girl.
And then it got even better for the New Hampshire test, actually. I only had to take the state portion, and I passed it in about 20 minutes. Richard was like, "Are you okay?" When I came out to the car, I was like, yeah, I passed.
Did you even take the test?
So as much as I could read a book and read the study materials and flashcards and pass or take the exam and pass, it does not hold a flame to the actual knowledge you learn on the job. And really 100%. It's as much as you may need the test knowledge, what really matters is what you're learning when you're following someone around or going through your first transaction. Like the few times that I've messed up as I've been going through my real estate transactions, there are definitely things that I messed up and then learned from and will never make the same mistake. One of them, this is a perfect example. One of my closes, I was on my way to the law office. Okay. I had texted my client, we're on the way. Things are good.
Okay.
I sit there and I realize we never had a final walkthrough. I don't have the keys.
Wait. What does that mean?
A final walkthrough.
No, but like, what does that mean for like the,
I'll tell you how we fixed it. Because when you buy
it legally?
Yeah, when you buy a house 24 hours prior to close, you're allowed to go and do a final walkthrough, right? If there's a bunch of trash that someone left out.
Fair. Okay, smart.
Get that out of there. They didn't buy your trash. Get it out of there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be delivered in broom clean condition is what it's, the concept. And also, that is often when you exchange keys.
Makes sense. Okay.
And or pick up the keys. You go and you do your walkthrough with your client. You check, everything's good. Keys.
Makes sense.
And then I give those keys to the client after close, right? Because
these are yours now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, you're really not even supposed to be able to walk into the house until you're it's been signed, right? Well, it needs to be recorded with the city. So once the city recognizes that it's been received and recorded right after close, it gets sent off. Mm-hmm. And then the city, notes down this transfer of title, the new name on the deed. It goes through that whole process called recordation. And then technically they can get the keys and go inside. Obviously, most realtors give the key after closing, and it's usually a couple hours after. Okay. Just so, 4 or 5 is what I see. Like, let's say closes at 10 and yes. So to go back to that, I literally forgot to schedule the final walkthrough and pick up the keys. And, I pulled over to the side of the road. I'm sobbing. I call my mentor.
Something I would do.
Yeah. I'm sobbing. I call my mentor. I say, hey, I'm stupid. I'm fucking stupid. I don't have the keys and we didn't do a final walkthrough. She goes, okay, well, it's okay. Email the law office, explain that you need to close back maybe an hour, 30 minutes. It ended up only being 30 minutes later.
Oh, that's not bad.
It all worked out. But, you tell the law office, closing attorney, that you need to push that back. Then I called up, and this was an even more unique situation because the person selling their house, they were doing it on their own. They did not have an agent. So I was dealing directly with the seller.
Okay, yeah.
And so I had to call the seller up and I had to basically say, hi, we're looking to do a quick final walkthrough. At that point, they're checked out too, because they're doing their close on their own side, right? Which he didn't understand. There was so much communication. Like, I basically acted as a facilitator with the seller, which if I had been smarter in the moment, I would have said, I'll do this for you for an extra 1%.
Yeah.
But I didn't. These are the things you learn.
We're learning.
Exactly. So, it all got figured out. The seller responded, said he left the keys. The back slider was unlocked and the keys were right in the kitchen. So we ran, got there, went, and then got to the closing attorney and did the thing, and it was all fine. And of course, the client thankfully was a friend, but you live and you learn.
You learn from mistakes. No, I think you're right. I don't think there's any industry where you don't learn as you get
what
better
you
on
really
the job.
need. Yeah.
I mean, even medical. Of course, obviously with medical, you're learning a lot beforehand, but still there's a lot of things that you're learning.
Even then,
real life experience.
At that point is when they're like put in.
Well, exactly, because you have to have hands on. And so I think that's everything. You get better with time.
So, and they say, real estate is one of those things. I am immensely proud of anyone that is like super successful in their first year of real estate. For me, it's totally been a slow burn. I'm not originally from Massachusetts. So some people have spheres, right? They're pulling from their whole lives. And it's definitely humbling, but I think it's worth it to try and build something on your own.
No, I agree. And you and I have talked about that before, just in our own fun little wine gabs.
Our
fun little
wine yapping. I know.
But how rewarding it is. And it's right. I won't say it's the hardest thing. It is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Agree.
But there's so much reward in the fruit of that labor.
When you finally go from, going and looking at houses, sending houses, emailing, talking about how putting in offers, and then it finally gets to a closing table and I get to like give them goodies and stuff. That's the best. That you're just
seeing it start to finish.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Not really. It's so much, I feel much more immense pride in that work than I ever did working at, a big four, which great. I mean, glad I got the corporate world experience, but just very different, I would say, in how you feel in your everyday life.
No, that's a really bars.
I'm sorry. I'm just yapping here.
No, but I'm like, you're like preaching to my soul right now. Cause as I did the corporate life too. And it was not for me.
No, square peg, round hole.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously there's some people that they either don't have a choice or that's their career path or whatever. It just, for
a lot of people think that's the only choice too.
That's more of it. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. And once I came to the freelance side, I guess you want to call it, the 1099 side, the
1099, baby.
The we struggling over your side. what's a consistent paycheck side?
Thank God Richard's around because I never get a mortgage on my own. Well, which is something interesting to note. People, realtors, it's hard to get. That's good. It's hard to get your loan.
Taking notes. So it's good that he has a good old fashioned W-2.
Yes, you really do. You want some stable income. The lenders really like seeing stable income, and it's hard for us because it varies. It just is so variable.
We would have done great in 2008, from what I've heard. Was that they love people who could write whatever they wanted for their income, and they're like, you get a house, and you get a house, and Oprah Winfrey, you get a house.
This is making me want to watch The Big Short. The movie.
Never saw it.
Oh, so worth. You gotta.
Okay,
and it's actually very informative. I literally remember writing down questions.
Yeah,
and being like,
a lot of great.
What does this mean?
That's actually really good. I was saying so many big names in it too.
Oh yeah, and it really is. Again, we were at however old we were in 2008.
Yeah, you were a little younger than me. I was a sophomore in high school, so you probably were.
I was 11. No, I was 11.
So you were.
I was born in 1997.
So you were like just going into middle school?
No, was I 11?
I don't know. You want me to do
97,
math right now?
8? Yeah, can you believe I went to school for accounting?
That's your job.
I know. No, yeah, I was 11. I was 11. Okay. I was 11 or 12. But regardless, we weren't exactly.
No, I wasn't in the best. If I knew I should have bought a house in kindergarten.
I was going to say, I do know my parents had to buy a house in 2008 though, because it was when we were moving from Nebraska to New Jersey.
Oh, what a mess.
I know.
Or actually maybe the best time.
Maybe, yeah. I should ask my mom.
Yeah. The only story I remember is my dad's really good friend grew up in Medford.
Okay.
Tough Medford kid. He was a Medford kid. He was a plumber. So his own business, a lot of stuff under, and he ended up buying a house in the town that we lived in, Wyndham, which is a very bougie rich town.
Oh yeah.
We lived in the one lower class side of Wyndham. It's one very small little neighborhood where I wouldn't even say we were like normal. compared to we were average.
I would say
compared to the
good.
rest of Wyndham. And he ended up being able to get a house in Wyndham because as a plumber around that time, like he just made up his income and they were like, stamp approve, you get a house. And I'm like, damn it. Now as an independent, I need to show 17 years, my blood, my first toenail, my grandmother's first hair, my sister's eyelash just to get a house. And it like makes me so upset.
I know. I do say, well, okay. I am saying this with a grain of salt because HOA fees in our area currently are, I feel a little out of control. It seems to be really increasing. I firmly do believe that like condo ownership is a great way to move it, to basically, and I'm not saying this is life. Like, yeah, you basically,
we've had to like swallow that pill. Like we might not have we might not have that like traditional like first little picket fence house.
No, well, but here's the thing. That's not what's traditional anymore. What is actually traditional, at least in our area, because there is no concept of the starter home. No. It's a condo.
And then you move up into.
And then you take, you live there for a couple years and you take the equity that you've earned in that house. Because I mean,
I think we've said condos, I cannot ever think of a time where they've lost value.
Exactly. And I will tell you, I think the appreciation in this neighborhood in Billerica is 8% year over year. So your equity, it's building, and you're also paying down your mortgage, right? So your equity is building in that home. And then you take the equity you have, put it towards a down payment on your, your house.
Right.
And then go from there. And I will tell you, people will say they don't want to do that. They just want to figure it out and they want to get in a house. The person that I just helped get into a house owned a condo first.
Yeah.
Sold the condo.
We'll
be in the process of selling.
Yeah. Because where we're renting now, we've come up to the realistic expectation that probably it's going to be condo for a few years. And then
there's townhome options. There's sometimes the little duplex options. It really varies depending on where you're looking.
I would love your opinion as a real estate agent.
Oh, goodness.
Because I'm really firm on this.
Yeah. Okay.
This is something that I know it's my mother implanted this in my brain and I've become this way. Now I will say I've lived in garden style apartments and not.
Yeah. Okay.
I refuse to live in a garden style condo.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Yeah,
and I feel like there are so many.
But
I want my own.
What area you been looking at?
Where we are now. There's not, but it's just hard because the thing is, so we're probably going to stay around Boston because of his work. So he wants to be within a roughly, he says 20 mile, which is pretty decent.
That brings you to Burlington.
Does it really?
Yeah. Burlington's like 13 miles from the city or something like that. 15.
I always forget. I'm like, how close is everything? But I'm like,
there's
so
even
picky. I'm like, I just don't want I want my own front door.
No, I think that's totally okay.
I also just get scared. My father, but he's up the Seacoast area of New Hampshire. He was paying $800 a month. It just got bumped up to $950.
Like his mortgage payment is
monthly, or his HOA.
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. HOA fees are out of control right now in this area. So it's like, I say the thing about condos with a grain of salt because there's only going to be so many that make sense.
I was going to say, I think I am still in like the very early 2000s mindset where like HOAs were all like 200 pop.
No, I mean, even when I started,
does that even exist anymore?
When I started technically in March 2024 is when I signed on with a broker.
Yeah.
Even then, when I was looking at condos, because it was what I was trying to familiarize myself with, because I figured that's what people my age in my sphere would be looking at.
Right.
And even then it was, maybe $295, $395. Maybe $400 for some of the places that have like more amenities. But I'm telling you, it's a discussion that's happening because people are saying this is insane. And if one of the only ways to get into ownership in an area like ours was condo,
you had it, now
though you're adding an extra $900 onto your monthly payment, it does that make sense?
Right? Why even have?
Maybe not.
No. So that's probably going to be our.
And I will say. Sitting down and talking, like, even if like, let's say you have a realtor friend, and you know that you do, and you know that they know lenders and have relationships with lenders.
Yeah.
There is no cost associated with sitting down with a lender and saying, I have questions and I would love to have a better understanding of what my buying power looks like.
I bet most would appreciate that.
Lenders love talking. It's their whole job. They love explaining the process. Like I've had lenders tell me that if there's things that I'm confused on, they'd love to sit down and talk through the process so that I understood and, got my questions answered. So I always advocate for
ask questions always, no matter where you are, no matter what field you're in, no matter if you're new or old, always ask questions.
And there's never any stupid questions, only ones you didn't ask.
I want that on a t-shirt.
It's in the bottom of my email.
Is it really?
On my newsletter.
That's actually cute. I like that.
Because there are no stupid questions. And I'm realizing the older I'm getting that no one has it figured out. Like I thought I'm like, these people are so together. No. Everyone is faking it. Everyone is just trying to figure it out.
No, yeah.
And now that I understand that, I'm like, oh, wait, that's fine. Because that's me too.
It's who's the best at faking.
Yes, that like stands out. Confidence is key too. Yes. Like confidence is key.
And speaking of confidence, I want to ask you, how did you feel that and maybe you feel that you don't have confidence yet? Because I sure as hell feel I don't. How do you feel being more present online? I love your online presence.
I'm trying. I recently was at an event and this lady was speaking and she said, being cringe, like wear it as a badge of honor. Be cringe, wear it
really
as a badge of honor. She was like, everyone that has ever gone on to make content that people are enjoying and viewing and like and do not feel as cringe started out as cringe. She said, everyone starts out cringe. Point. So wear like a badge of honor and then one day you'll be beyond and above and no longer cringe. And also it's so funny because social media is so much so like, what are other people thinking?
Yes.
And and that's
because that's where you get the validation from.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's actually
so really I'm trying to just be freaking cringe, post it, not care. I'm asking Richard for ideas, maybe so things that I wouldn't think of. So
I love that he's the cameraman. We all need a cameraman.
We do. Every lady realtor has a non-licensed
that's perfect
husband that is doing all their extra. Yeah.
That's right. You joke that they're your unemployed.
Yeah, they're my unemployed
assistant.
Yes.
Like, he's like, hey, we don't pay him here. He's
no,
more work. Please.
We pay him with food and beer.
Ricardo? No, I'm just kidding. No, with
but it's just be cringe, fuck it. And I will tell you, even if someone did watch my video and think it was weird, I know for a fact that 30 minutes later, they are no longer thinking about it anymore. People's brains can't stay focused on anything.
I'm trying to have that whole perspective for my whole life.
I know I'm trying myself.
Where I try to think of things that we try to think of things, or whether it's even sometimes, whether it's road rage or whether I see something where I'm like, I'm not going to remember you like a year from now. You're not going to remember me from a year now. Like, why am I getting upset about this? Why am I letting this like get to me? I'm trying to have that perspective of everything. When someone's mean to me on threads or online, I like giggle now because I'm like some random dude on the internet who I literally am not going to remember that you even made this comment 6 months from now. You called me fat. Boo-hoo. Like, I really am trying to.
Why are people commenting on other people's bodies on the internet?
It's the easiest little jab. But like, honestly, to my point of like, if that's your comeback, you have not graduated from like 6th grade.
Agree.
Like roasting level. I'm not taking anything you say. If like seriously, please come up with some more sophisticated roast. And then maybe I will listen to you. But you go after like the typical your mom joke. I'm like, you're not.
No. And anyone that's like has the time to be doing that, I would say I already don't care about you because I don't have time to be commenting mean things on other people's posts. No, I'm focused on building my brand.
My favorite. So Boston Road Rage, as you know.
Oh, I know. I may partake every once.
As someone who lived in the thick of it, as you partake because it's a rite of passage.
Sometimes it's impossible not to.
I had a dude at a red light recently. Yelling insults right back and forth.
Is your window rolled up or down?
Oh, down. Full down. Both down. Okay. No, I'm not afraid. I have a dash cam. That's always my thing.
Oh.
They always pull up and I always go, you're on dash cam, asshole. That's my first thing. And they're like, I don't think whatever.
I don't care.
So we're going back and forth and he does the, okay, you fat bitch. And so I took a deep breath and I did the, well, this fat bitch gets laid every fucking night. So okay. Like, so who cares? Like, so I'm fat, but when's the last time you got your dick sucked? Like,
and also, again, if that is the first thing,
like, okay, and
then you haven't. there's nothing if that's the only negative thing that you can say about me, that's fine.
Right. Like, I'll take it. Like, you can't go after my personality because it's better than yours. So please go after, like, yes, I'm sorry. You can call me that, but I'm still getting it. And I get to have a chocolate cookie after. I call that a win. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Like, period. That's it. So I take that as a win. So I'm like, actually, thank you for reminding me. I needed that reminder today that my life is fabulous.
And honestly, I think, okay, one thing too that has been in my head this year is that the quickest way to ruin something for yourself is by asking someone else's opinion on it. Like, let's say you're going to go get a haircut. Instead of asking my friends for like their thoughts and opinions, which I still do, by the way.
Why do we do that?
But
that's such a... Is that a woman thing?
Is that
an our age group thing? Because I think it's
partially our age group. I would say
opinion on everything. What picture I was going to post? What outfit I should wear?
Do that. I needed
everyone's opinion to even step out the door. Yeah, now I'm like, couldn't give two shits.
No, and you feel lighter because I think you feel. I think what social media makes us do sometimes is like question choices we've already made. And or decisions. Yeah.
And then it wants you to make a different decision to buy something different.
Yeah. And you just don't like, I think actively going out of your way to remind yourself that no one's thinking as much about you as you are about you. Yes. So just put that energy into yourself, focus on doing things that make yourself happy. Turn that energy inward. I always used to spend a lot of energy thinking about everyone else. Yes. And I'm just trying to turn that inward, pick up more hobbies, be outside more once the freaking, it's not negative real feel of 4 or whatever, and negative
17 feet of snow. At least your roads are actually plowed decently. It's, no, and we technically, space savers everywhere are gone right now.
Because isn't it 48 hours after
a snow emergency
they say, or whatever?
But our area, which technically is like, it's so weird. We're 2 miles away from Boston, but we're not considered in Boston. So we have our own district and rules and whatever. We don't even have space savers aren't even allowed. But people do it anyways.
Yeah, no, they always do.
I got in a fight. I'm someone in my neighborhood. I'm so spicy. I'm like, I gotta tone it down.
No, you know what? Did someone yell at you for putting a spot, like a saver?
No, I was the yeller. I was hey, you're not allowed to have a space saver here. We have a lot of issues with my street.
Okay.
It's a very
narrow.
It's a 2-way. It should be a 1-way. I guess we found out they've been trying to fight on it for years, but we have one neighbor that keeps voting it down. It's like a very busy cut through street.
Okay.
There's parking only on one side, and then all the parking is where it's a disaster. So parking is very scarce on the street. A lot of the obviously the people that like live there, and we all kind of have our own unspoken designated spots, but it's all technically public parking.
Okay.
So sometimes there's a little bit of car shuffle roulette.
No, I'm sure. I hated parking in Southie in the winter.
Yeah. And we also, for some reason, I don't know how, on this storm got the most. We got like 27 inches.
Oh, yeah.
So we have nowhere to put it. And
I was going to say, because it goes into the yards here.
Yeah. And so they're all trying to emergency move everything, but there's nowhere to move everything. And then it got cold, so it didn't melt. So everything just turned into ice blocks. So do
you think people have been calling? Like the Department of Public Works, DPW?
They don't do much. They don't do anything where I live.
I have been on TikTok. I have the DPW slander after Snowmageddon has been hilarious. Even some girl posted this TikTok. She was walking up the stairs from one of the T stops, and she was walking. Did you see that? Where it was just a little sliver of her feet up the stairs were still covered in snow and ice, and they didn't do shit. And MBTA. The Massachusetts MBTA commented on the TikTok saying, "Can you please let us know which T station this was? Thank you."
Probably all of them, because they're all fucking mess.
And I think people commented back to responded back to that saying exactly what you just said, which is all of them.
Like, you should be checking all of them at this point. Yeah, no, they're a mess.
And people rely on public transport. We're in a major metropolitan area. Like, the whole point is that there's public transport.
And that's the craziest thing, that they're trying to pass less driving in the city, or they want to tax you. And like,
then people need to be able to afford to live closer to where they work.
And
if they're going to try and cut down on driving, it's absurd.
And we need more reliable public transportation.
Agree.
I love, one of the reasons I moved closer to the city was
for access.
Yeah, was because I was living in New Hampshire, coming down for shoots. I was paying $60 a pop at a parking garage. It was crazy. I love that I have an Orange Line stop
and you can hop
5 seconds away from my house.
I bet it has made it a lot easier for you to get to so many more shoots.
100%. T doesn't understand it because he was the city kid who was like so happy to get a car. And so he's like, I never want to take public transportation ever again. Me, on the other hand, I love going on, popping on my headphones, listening to a podcast, and people watching the whole Orange Line down.
You can also get a lot of work done. When my dad would take the train in from where we lived in New Jersey into New York, I mean, albeit he drove a lot of the time too, but I know when he took the train, he was getting work done the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, you know the Boston traffic.
You could probably sit and edit on the train, depending on...
exactly. Instead of sitting in traffic trying to get 3 miles because I'm doing shoots at prime time traffic.
I was about to say prime time times 4.
Or I can be sitting on a train that's heated and AC'd and it brings me right to my apartment.
Yeah.
So, but again, we need more reliable transportation and we need more affordable.
It would be nice if it was expanded as well.
They just popped up 3 apartment complexes next to me. Within like boom, boom, boom. They're almost done being built. But again,
did they tear down something and now they're building on top?
One was an open lot already. Another one was an old, the like Silver Fox or something. It was like an old
retirement.
No, it was like I thought it was a strip club before, but then I think it actually ended up being like a lounge space. And it's been open, but then they tore that down. They built one up.
Okay.
But you know what's sad is like the whole affordable housing thing. They say this all the time. They put those into like the Tuscan Village in Salem, and they're still $3,000 a month.
No, I would say that.
What is affordable housing if it's still that? What does that mean?
All right.
I know we kind of talked about this earlier. So the next segment is our focus in segment where I get to ask you, what are you focusing in on right now? This can be anything.
Content, I think, because I'm trying to grow my following, connect with more people that live in my area, actual people, not just vendors, but, people. I'm focusing also, I would like to get more involved locally within my community. Okay. The golf tournament really...
Yeah, that was fun.
It created something in me where, I felt proud of the fact that we were able to raise money for something that, was so important to me.
Yep.
And I would like to try and be doing more of that in my direct local community. I'm so glad I was able
to... nonprofit work almost? Maybe or like along that
honestly,
umbrella.
Even... I think that there are committees that help organize the fireworks in Billerica and Tewksbury. There are committees that you can help work with. I think that either do like
the town has committees, all the time.
There's all sorts. I think that also Christmas tree decorating or selling raffle tickets for events, local events or scholarship funds and all of that. And so part of me just wants to be more out in my community. That is a big goal. I've been here for now 2 years.
Holy shit.
I know. It's weird. 2 years.
And I feel like you just moved in.
I know. May 2024. Well, I guess a year and a half.
Ew.
It'll be 2 years in this May.
Ew.
I know.
Ew. What is time?
And when
I don't like this.
And when you put it in... When you think about it like that and you because moving around all the time growing up, I kind of look at where I am living and that's how I remember things. And so I know I was...
Same thing. I did the same thing. This was
living
the first year. So Boston, I've been here now almost 2 years. And I said this is the longest because the last 5 or 6 years I moved every year.
I know, which
it sucks the life out of you.
And you don't feel like you can really, I always remember feeling like I couldn't really get,
you don't feel settled.
Yeah, you never feel settled.
But there is some beauty in like every time I would move, I got to go through my stuff and purge. Oh, I love doing that though.
And there is some sense of a fresh start. Like when you were a kid and you loved reorganizing your room, like that moving into a new apartment is kind of doing that.
I'm giggling because we were just talking about this recently. Did you ever used to get excited when you would redecorate your room? I used to do this where I would move the dresser around and the bed around.
Yes.
And then I would run to Mom, come look. Mom, you got to come see. Mom,
yes.
Mom, I just redid my room. You need to come see. And she'd be like, oh. And then she'd be
everything.
She'd be like, you moved all this furniture. I'm like, like 10 years old, dragging
it. It's shocking we weren't more concerned about the noise because you had to drag. It's not like we were picking with our legs.
No, we had no dressers safety pinned to walls. I was literally dragging them across the room by myself. There was now you have to bolt them to the wall.
Obviously we were babies, so I don't know what my parents had as a baby, but I think about when I was like 7 years old. And that dresser was not affixed. I mean, it was heavy. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, but it was. I don't remember any of my dressers when I was in like elementary school being affixed to anything. Maybe they were when I was a baby. I don't know though.
I don't think that was really a thing until the last more than 5 years. I would say. I think because I remember when I was pregnant with Callie, they started to talk about that stuff,
like outlet covers. I know.
Those were.
There was that really sad story, right, about the large bureau.
I
thought it was a young boy.
I thought it was a boy too. Yeah, because that's what I remember becoming more predominant. But safety covers, even
terrible.
Even my sister, because my sister's 10 years younger than me. So I remember in like the early 2000s, my mom had fucking hated them. My parents had them on the cabinets, and you had to like push.
Oh my gosh, are you talking about the little? Yes, you had to like go like you had to like and then
it wasn't
terrible.
It was human proof.
I hated that.
The amount of times, and then they were just there. We just never took them off.
Yeah.
So then we're teenagers at one point, and then they would be half hanging open. One point I remember I came home stoned in high school.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out. And I just like He-Man ripped it open, and I was just like, we had him on the fridge with like a little seatbelt. Like,
I actually do know exactly what you're talking about.
My refrigerator was seatbelt closed.
No, fuck that. Okay, obviously I'll do it if I have my own child. I promise. I'll baby proof. I'll probably have one of those people come through and say like this is everything you need to do, and I'll be like, all right.
I don't want to get canceled. I don't know if I would baby proof. No, I would baby proof.
You would baby proof, and I know it.
To a certain level, but I don't know where
you would do things different
necessary.
Like that.
Yeah.
That big dresser that's very tall that a little kid could climb on, and the weight would be Some
things I see the validity. Okay. Some things I see that we have learned and we didn't know previously. There are some things I do feel like we've gone a little like
I think I do.
Helicopter parents, and there's that very 90s
there's always that
kiddo part of me that I'm like, we drank out of the hose, we're fine kind of mentality.
Yeah.
I do have that a little bit.
Like I saw some mom get inflamed for pouring that hydrogen peroxide on like a cut the way that they used to do for us.
What's wrong with that?
Supposedly it's like, it doesn't actually do anything. It's just like not necessary. I think actually, I think it cleans out some of the good bacteria too or something. But this mom was being flamed, and she was like, well, you live and you learn. Like, why couldn't anyone just give this to me nicely? And I'm like, yeah, why didn't anyone just tell you nicely?
Sometimes I fucking hate the internet because now we're like going against hydrogen.
What's wrong with, But in that moment, there are two ways that she could have been informed. So why are we going out of our way to be an asshole when we could just be helpful?
I read about this hive mind mentality. It's not even a theory, but it's like a psychological thing. And it talks about this whole basically mentality, psychological mindset on the internet, how people have almost this hive mind mindset where someone will start and being like, you idiot, you shouldn't have poured peroxide on the cut. And then everyone else comes with their pitchforks and it's this weird psychological, and we all need to cut the shit.
I was going to say, people are a little too parasocial nowadays for me too.
Yeah. That's why I just sit in my house the whole time. Yeah. And I don't do anything.
That's another reason. Just post whatever you want to post. People are going to like it or they're not going to like it. Who knows what's going to go viral or not viral. That's what consistency is the only thing that we can actually really just do. So I'm just trying to be consistent when you're talking about what I'm focusing on. Consistency. Progress, not perfection.
I like it.
Consistency.
I like it. That's a secret sauce to anything.
Yeah, right. Doing it enough and doing it every day.
Thing and keep doing the damn thing.
Doing the damn thing. Even if you don't want to.
No, that's me most days. All right, my dear, this was fabulous. I always love chatting with you.
Me too.
Tell the
photographer turned friend.
That's a joke that no one else will understand. I want you to tell the people, where can they find you if they want to get more of Hannah, learning more about real estate, getting more of your fun personality?
Oh, you're so sweet to me. So my name's Hannah Coates. You could type that into Instagram, but also on, my Instagram handle is Hannah_Kadilak with a K _Realty. And, I would like to think I post sometimes occasionally funny things, but mostly helpful things.
Modest. You are hilarious. You are my inspiration. I really mean that. You actually did inspire me to start posting more.
You know what? And let me tell you, the thing that inspired me was that being cringe is a badge of honor. So we will go out in the world and be cringe together.
We're going to be cringe together. All right. We're being cringe together. I love it.
I like it.